Hey, welcome back to the Plowman Table Podcast. I'm on the road today, so we will do the podcast where it may be recorded. And I do not have my mic, so the audio might be a little different. But thank you for being here today. I hope everyone's had a nice week. We have been talking a lot about hospitality, and we've sort of started with like how to get your house ready at a moment's notice, and then what do you feed the people. But before I move on from hospitality, I have something that's very near and dear to my heart that I wanted to also discuss or wrap up for now on hospitality. We'll always come back to that, but soon we're going to kind of switch gears and mention homeschooling. Homeschooling happens a lot at the Plowman Table. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about being hospitable to the people that live in your house. Yeah. Like the ones that are always there, the ones you do the laundry for, the ones you cook for day in and day out, the ones that make the mess and hopefully are there helping you clean it up. You can be hospitable to those people. In fact, I would say that those people, the ones that are always there, they might be the most important people to be hospitable to. So I've been visiting my mom and dad, and soon we will get to be visiting Jacob's mom and dad. And I just, there's things about getting to going home in the sense of like visiting your parents or where you lived. And the funny thing is, what is home to me now is not at all where I grew up. My parents didn't live in the house that they have now until I was an adult. And the same for Jacob's parents. His home is not where his parents live now, but it's not really the place necessarily. Though the place is special sometimes, but it's the people and it's what they do to cultivate that feeling of home, that feeling of security and bond of love in any space. That's what makes it home. And so I just want to talk about that a little bit. Whenever I go visit my parents' house, especially around the holidays, I know it is going to be decorated. And I don't mean like Better Home and Gardens kind, although, I think my mom does a pretty good job. She could take a picture or two and have it in a magazine. But it's not like a museum kind of decorate. It's just, I already said the word curated, but that's what it is. Like it's designed to feel inviting and like this is a very special, like the guest room, it's a very special room for us when we come, and it feels that way. Sometimes she has like little goodies on the side of the bed that are specifically for me or whoever might be staying. She always smells nice. The table's always nice and clean. Each holiday has its own decor. It just feels like everything is done with intention. And intentionality is important in a home. It shows that you care. It shows that you see and notice the details. And at Christmas, it's the same way. Both my parents, they are all in at Christmas, and you start feeling the holidays as soon as you drive down their driveway. I love getting to come home for Christmas. There's lights, there's trees. It's just cozy. And then like my mother-in-law, it is not a complete visit unless you have blueberry muffins at Grandma and Papa's house. The smell of blueberry muffins mixed with, she has this candle she likes from Bath & Body Works. It's called Leaves. The smell of leaves, candle, and blueberry muffins, like it is my mother-in-law. It is such a good smell. It's such a welcoming smell. And that's just a part of it. You just know those things are there. So what do you do at your house that hopefully your kids can say, man, Mama's house, she did this. Or my dad, he always had this at the house. What is something that you can do with intention to make your house a home? But also, remember, it's not necessarily the space. What are you hoping to leave as a lasting imprint on your children's heart. Because believe it or not, our kids aren't going to be with us forever. They're hopefully going to grow up. It's kind of a bittersweet thing. Some of you might be like, nah, get out. But hopefully your kids are going to grow up and leave your home and have a home of their own and invite you. My youngest says, I'm going to live next door to you forever, and I'm always going to make you biscotti and lasagna. Biscotti and lasagna. It's just the sweetest thing, but you want them to take with them something in their heart that is always mom and dad. And no matter where mom and dad might live, when they get to come be with you, they get to experience that. What is it for you? I hope that I am already leaving some sort of imprint of love and home on all of my children. So something else that you can do when a guest comes over, you want it to be clean, you want it to smell nice, and you want them to have a nice place to sleep. Hospitality, the idea is like a rest and a recharge for your guest. Well, I was reading a book, Angela Thomas, I believe, is who wrote it. She talked about turning down the bed sheets at night for your children. And I loved that idea. And if you've listened to the other podcast, you know that I have to make my bed in the morning. It has to be done, or I'm a weirdo for the day. But I try to teach my children to make their bed and start their day fresh. But even if they didn't, at night, when I tuck them in, sometimes they want to stay up too late, and I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. But when it's a normal night, we will make sure their bed is cleaned off and their pillow and blanket are smooth and ready for them to jump into bed. Just that little gesture, it kind of is like inviting some peace into the room and saying, okay, now it's time for bed. We have a clean slate in our bed. It's ready for you to just relax. And my kids love it when I do that. In fact, on the nights that they are hanging out with dad a little bit later than I want to stay up and they have to come tell mom night, you can just tell. It's not their favorite. They prefer mom and dad to tuck them in their bed and say prayers in the hallway or like in the doorway of their rooms rather than the other. And I love that. It's special to me. And I know one day they probably will turn into those teenagers everybody's telling me about, and they might not want that, but I think they'll remember it. Your husband, your wife, whoever's listening to this podcast, but your spouse, having a nice clean bed for them when they get to come rest, there's nothing like it. The kids know that when mom's made the bed, especially if it's getting close to bedtime, they want to come snuggle, and I'm like, well, we're going to cover up with this blanket, but you're not undoing dad's side of the bed. Because I just want him to be able to get into a smooth sheet, smooth bed, and just relax and chill out. I know it's silly, but those are the things that matter. Those little details, when you are a guest that somebody paid attention to, you feel them. You may not consciously notice that they did this step for me, but you would notice if they didn't. Hospitality is in the details. Something else that you can do to be hospitable to your family is remember that you do like them. There are some days that are hard, and they might not be, if you were going to get to pick anybody in the world to give a phone call to and, talk for a few minutes and tell about your day, there may be some days that it would not be the people that you've been around for the majority of the day. But have you ever noticed when mom's on the phone, that's when all the children need you? Well, an older and wiser friend of mine, they said it's because you're using your happy voice. They hear mom's happy to speak to somebody, and they want to know what you're happy about. And I was like, well, that's convicting. I'm happy to see them, but if you ever listen to yourself on the phone, it's kind of cringeworthy, actually. I'm so much happier on the phone with somebody else than the people that I'm with day in and day out. When a friend comes over, I'm the same way. I talk to them like, oh my goodness, it's so wonderful you're here. And I'm not flattering them, but like, I'm just extra hopefully paying attention to them. My nice voice is out. My tone is checked. If somebody is visiting and they say something you don't particularly like or agree with, usually you don't like jump down their throat about it. But sometimes as families, especially close proximity all the time, it's just real quick to like correct each other and be snippy about things, or not have any regard for how your tone might be coming across to them. You might not be trying to make them feel bad, but you're just being yourself, and that's just how you feel, and all of your emotions are being inflicted on them in our tone. I am so guilty of this. And so being hospitable to your family is talking to them like you actually love them. Remembering our tone really does matter, and it is conveying a message regardless if we mean it to convey a message or not. And so have your nice voice with your family, especially at night. Your kiddos want to go to bed and your spouse wants to go to bed on a good page. Nobody likes going to bed with strife going on. There's a Bible verse that talks about, do not let the sun go down on your anger. Man, if there's something that's happened during the day that's not great and you need to talk about it if you can, but at least go to bed on a good note, on a kind voice, letting each other know that even if we aren't on the same page about this thing, even if we don't agree, I love you way more than this thing that we are having a disagreement about, or the disagreement itself is not going to change how I feel and think about you. Send your babies and your spouse to bed on a good note. It makes all the difference. All right, last thing is we talked about when company is coming over. Oftentimes it's, I wouldn't even say oftentimes. A lot of times it's planned, but there are those impromptu moments, and we were like, oh no, my friend's coming. What do I need to do to get the house ready very quickly? You have to quickly be able to clean up, hide your clutter, and be able to be all in and focused. What if we had an afternoon reset? What if in the afternoons we do kind of like a quick clean, not a deep clean? And this is hard for me because once I start, I'm like, everything's a mess. And I very quickly throw myself into a cleaning rhythm. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about redeeming the day in a sense. Do a quick cleanup. Do a quick freshen up of the smell, the pillows, the curtains, fold up the blankets, sweep the floor, maybe wipe down the counters. I don't know, just whatever you need to feel better in the afternoon. If it's been kind of a hairy day, light a candle, put on some quiet music, maybe make a snack, but you're going to go into the afternoon, evening time focused on your family. When a friend comes over, everything at my house is like, a friend is coming, everything else doesn't matter. Our shift has focused, we have turned everything to, we are cleaning up the house, and when they get here, we are hiding our crazy, we are putting away our unsettled emotions, and we are all happy people all into our company. And I'm not advocating being fake. I'm just saying like that's how it happens sometimes. What if we go into the afternoons and evenings knowing this is family time and these are the most important people in the world to me? And if they really are, and I know they are, they're my babies, they're my husband, I want to be all in. I want to be focused on them. Everything else can wait. I want to have a nice meal with them. I want to ask them about their day, ask them about how they're feeling. And if everybody in the house could get on board and nobody's really thinking about your own emotions, but you're thinking about everyone else's emotions, everybody's going to get taken care of. I know it's just this huge, bizarre, wonderful thought. No, this is a very simple thought. Jesus talked about it. Serve others, prefer them over yourself. It's such a simple thought, but it's difficult to live out sometimes, especially with the people that you're around all the time. But truly, they are worthy of our hospitality, and they are the most precious people in my life, and I want them to know that. And sometimes it requires intentionality, laser focused on, I am going to serve my family in this kind of way. You might not be able to do this every day. You might not feel like doing this every day. Your family might not be in the same place as another's, and it might not be easy or even desirable to be hospitality, or to be hospitable, not hospitality, to be hospitable to the people in your home. But if we strive to prefer one another over ourselves, I'm not talking about being a doormat, I'm just talking about loving them, showing them that they matter to you, you're going to see change. The Lord says that He'll handle their heart. You're responsible for your actions and reactions. So why not treat those people that are golden to us like they are our most honored and valued guest? Not a long podcast, but I hope this leaves you encouraged and gives you some things to think about. And I hope that you enjoy your family. Thanks.